Right. Get it set up.
All right, we are live now, but no one's gonna be in here until I tweet it out. I gotta find a link.
This is a good time of the year anyway with rookies and stuff. Give people something to do.
Yeah, it's really good. It's my favorite time of year.
Yeah.
Rookie draft starting up.
Yep.
But you're not too big in Dynasty, right?
I'm not. No, Justin's more into that than I am. I'm more redraft. I know a little bit of Dynasty. We do a little. We have one team together, but
The home dynasty league where people.
I just don't have time to get into everything.
Yep. I understand that.
There's so many. We know people are interested in 20, 30 leagues. Oh my gosh.
People like that are crazy. I know. I can't believe they would do that.
40 or 50.
Exactly. I just put the number a little bit higher.
Higher than 50?
No, I got 31.
All right.
Yep.
That's enough. That'll keep you busy.
Yeah, it's pretty busy.
You gotta retweet this, dude.
Okay.
I'm making the tweet right now.
I'll jump on our podcast one too.
I feel honored. I'm so slow at texting sometimes.
Are you doing it from the podcast one?
Yeah, from a podcast one.
Okay.
Yeah, John's got it on his thing. Look at it.
Yeah, John already has it.
John's waiting on it. All right, we're good. We're here now.
He's got the big thing up on his TV. That's awesome, John.
There we go.
All right, I got it. You gotta retweet that. I just tagged you in it too. All right, we're about to get going, people. We got 2. All right. I'm ready. You ready?
Ready.
All right, cool. Mitch, you ready?
Yeah, sure thing. Always ready.
All right.
Old school Paul, new school Justin. Man, y'all still going to school though. Sit down, listen up. Father, son, y'all think it's just another one. Fade the Vader, they be grading players, all it's done is made the piper pay me, and they've been grinding lately. Up late, hit the waivers, don't hate the player, hate me. It's just a game, boy, never gifted one on Christmas. Instead I asked for ships to hit everything off my wish list. Check the litmus, do y'all really not get this? Hit this triangular shaped button, I don't want you to miss this. But I guess that's really none of my business. Me risky free, cruise with Paul and Justin just listening. Yards after contact and catch, that's a lot of distance. The kind of info make me wanna blow opponents' kisses. But I gotta be clear, there was one key difference. Relationship is deep in this vein of ellipsis. Like how Justin agreed to washing all the dishes. I'm just grateful Paul turned the miss into the misses. Father, son, pie, get down on the get down. If you don't get it now, then get out. Father, son, pie, sit down and get rich now. If you're not feeling it now, then get out.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Father-Son Fantasy Football Podcast. We are live on YouTube. My name is Paul.
My name is Justin, and today we are joined by Mitch Sorenson from Dynasty Theory. What's going on, Mitch?
What's up, Mitch?
What's going on, guys? You guys have the best intro as far as like fantasy goes that's out there. I love the intro every single week.
Nice.
Thank you. I agree.
We love it.
We love it. Stompy doesn't agree, but who cares what Stompy thinks? Mr.
Oh, yeah,
Thinks
yeah.
No. Okay. FF Man Bun, shout out to him, Open Bar, and J Mike, coming through. But we're here to talk running backs, specifically rookie running backs today, because the NFL draft was this past weekend. We finally got the missing piece to the puzzle with these guys, the landing spot and the draft capital. Dad, you didn't really watch much of the early second round because you were watching Survivor, I think.
Yeah, we're watching Survivor.
You get priorities, but I was sitting there and we saw Clyde Edwards-Helaire go day one, and I was on the live stream for Dynasty Theory
last
when
pick,
that
first running
happened.
back off the board.
Yeah, I was shocked. Mitch was not shocked. Mitch called it.
Nope,
I was
sure
not.
did.
But then the second day, the Colts trade up to get Jonathan Taylor, and I was very, very excited about that. I didn't see that coming. But we'll start with the guy who went off the board first, Clyde Edwards-Helaire out of LSU. Going to the Chiefs. I didn't see it coming, and I hated to admit it, but I'm like, this guy's your running back one now. It's like the draft capital's there. They took him in the first round. People said, oh, what if he falls during the second round? No, they took him in the first round. And rumor has it that Patrick Mahomes hand-selected this pick.
Mhm.
They texted him or something like that. He was like, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, and so they went with the pick. But I want to get your take on it, Dad, because you said this guy was number one before the draft process, which is just
He's
so
still
wrong.
one.
Well, now we got some to change.
I'd still take him as the RB1 in rookie draft.
Well, you have to now. But like, what's
you
your
don't
reason?
have to. But
I think you almost have to now.
what a landing spot for him. I think it's a perfect spot for him. Andy Reid somehow uses these guys that are not the elite running backs and uses them to a way that they're just exceptional. Like Brian Westbrook, for example. He did great in Andy Reid's offense, and this guy's going to do the same thing. Even though he lacks elite breakaway speed, he is a complete back with ability to run in between the tackles. Plus, he's the best receiving back in the draft class.
Wow.
I told you he was going to go first. He went first. I'm the man.
I don't think you can just say that.
Good landing
after
spot
doing
for
that.
him with the Chiefs. I think he's going to take over that number one spot sometime during the year.
Yeah. Mitch, I'll let you take the floor here. Clyde Edwards-Helaire, you said he's going to go number one overall. Well, not number one overall, but the first running back off the board. And it happened. I was surprised it was over Swift or Jonathan Taylor, but you got the draft capital, and I'm assuming that's the best landing spot you could possibly get. So let's hear what you guys say about Clyde Edwards-Helaire.
Yeah, without a doubt. I think the big thing that I started doing early this year is listening to more of the NFL mock draft guys like Daniel Jeremiah, Bucky Brooks, and they were always really high on Edwards-Helaire. And so towards when the draft was actually coming up, he just kept moving up the boards. So I'm like, he's going to be the first guy to go. And ends up he goes to the best system that you could possibly imagine. He gets the best quarterback. He doesn't Damian Williams is his only competition there. I mean, that Darwin Thompson truthers there, it's just dust, man. Like,
Dan, it's over for you, Dan.
I know. Yeah, it's all over at this point. But I really think they're going to split touches for the first little while. I bet it's going to be 50-50. But as soon as Edwards-Helaire learns the system, learns the blocking scheme that they want, he's going to take over towards the end of the season. And that's when we're going to want him during the fantasy playoffs. He's the back that we're going to want to have. And yeah, he's the 101 in every draft for me as well.
Yeah, it doesn't get much better than having your right-hand man in the offense be Patrick Mahomes. So with him, you're tethered to Patrick Mahomes for your entire rookie contract. And even the option, whether or not they want to pick him up or not, it doesn't matter. You're with Patrick Mahomes, who's the best quarterback in the NFL right now and has potential to be one of the best of all time. So that just makes the offense as a whole stay top 12 easily. Like that's like the floor. Top 5 is probably the floor, honestly. And then number 1 every single year. That alone just gives him a 100-target upside in that kind of offense. You have Damian Williams there. I think he's gone after this year. You mentioned splitting time in the beginning. I definitely see that happening. And maybe by week 6, week 7, he gets more of the share of the touches. But I wasn't a big Edwards-Helaire fan.
Oh, you laughed at me.
I did laugh at
laughed
you.
at me.
I think from a prospect, looking at the metrics and all that, and him coming from the LSU offense, who you're never going to see a team game plan for a running game against LSU last year. You have all these weapons on the passing attack. They're not looking for stopping the run. But the best system running back lands in the best system possible. So it's like, why does it matter anymore? And the system usually matters way more for running. Well, not usually, it does. Simply does matter more for running back than anything else. Last season, 0.42 missed tackles per attempt. Over the last 5 years, only 6 running backs have been split out wide as a receiver on more than 20% of their routes. He was second with 35%. That's per Graham Barfield. And Reed's running back one has finished top 8 in fantasy points per game in 12 of the last 16 seasons. You mentioned the Brian Westbrook comparison. He's also got Priest Holmes comparisons, and some people even say Christian McCaffrey. That's like, you're good. No, get out of here. Receiving potential is there. He's a really good receiver, and in that offense, you want a running back that can catch the ball. 100 target upside. Yeah, best receiver in his class. I agree with you on that. I don't think you can say you're the champ now because you got that right, but hats off to you. I'll give you the Clyde Edwards-Helaire, running back, number 1 overall. I'm going to skip the next guy on the show sheet. The other guy in contention for this running back 1 overall spot is Jonathan Taylor. I love Jonathan Taylor. I mean, what's not to love about this guy? I think it's not even crazy to say he's top 10 running back prospect of all time. I think he had the production. You're saying no? You don't like that, Mitch? This guy's production.
I don't like that at all, man.
6,000 plus rushing yards in 3 seasons. All the other guys on the list who have above 6,000 yards did it in 4 seasons. He did that. He has a 99th percentile speed score, and people knock his pass catching ability a little bit. People were like, "Oh, he's not gonna have those big holes to run through in the NFL." Well, guess what? He got to the best offensive line in the NFL behind the Colts, and he's really good inside runner. I think he had 4.52 yards per attempt in inside runs, and that is the best in the class this year. That's per Graham Barfield. And who's his guard he's going to be running behind in Indianapolis? Someone named Quentin Nelson. So that's going to be there for the whole entire rookie contract, and this offensive line is going to open up holes for a guy who exceeds. Marlon Mack over, I think, the last 9 games, I think Derek Brown pointed out a stat today saying he got 70% of the touches in the backfield. We're going to see if he can pass catch. I think they should give him the opportunity to, because I think he can do better than Marlon Mack can do at pass catching, and he's way more explosive. So it's a very tough pick for me at 101, but I think I'm still going to go Clyde Edwards-Helaire because of the system, and he has draft capital on the side. But Indianapolis did trade up to get this guy. They didn't just have him fall to their pick. They moved up to acquire this guy. Give me the running back that is one of the best prospects of all time. I think in top 15, I'll give Mitch. Maybe I think top 10 still, and he's probably the best prospect.
Little high.
I mean, the metrics are there, the production in college is there, and now you got a good system in Indianapolis. But the thing with him is he's tethered to Phillip Rivers, captain checkdown for a year, which may help him out. It's probably going to split time with Mac. Mac's gone after this year, and then I don't know who the quarterback is. That's my concern. You got Patrick Mahomes your quarterback, or you have Eason Brissett, question mark. I'm going to take Patrick Mahomes in that scenario. So Clyde Edwards-Helaire is my running back 1. But if I did 100 drafts, I'd probably have 52 Edwards-Helaire, 48 Jonathan Taylor to mix up my shares. Dad, you're shaking your head yes and no. What do you guys say?
I agree with you. I mean, he's my number 2 running back in the class. Like you said, the Colts traded up for him. He's going to be running behind an offensive line that returns all 5 starters. And this is an offensive line that ranks 2nd in Pro Football Focus 2019 run blocking squads. His only problem is pass catching, so we'll have to see how they evolve that into pass catching back. And I believe, not off the bat, maybe in 3-4 years, this guy could compete for rushing titles.
Oh, I think if Mac is gone next year, you could see him possibly compete for a rushing title.
That offensive line is fantastic. So if he can't do it there, then he's not going to do it anywhere.
Well, dang, you putting the guy a lot of pressure right there.
I mean, it's probably the best offensive line in football.
It is.
Is the Colts. So,
I think it's definitely top 5.
If he can't run behind that, forget it.
Sounds good.
So we'll see what he does, and I'd like to see what he does out of the backfield catching.
Yeah, I know Mitch didn't really like Jonathan Taylor as much as I did through his whole pre-draft process. Now at the landing spot and capital, what's your take on Jonathan Taylor?
My problem was he was just that Twitter darling, man. Like when everybody just gets on that one guy and hypes him up to the point, I'm always the one be like, hold on. Mm-hmm. But Justin, you brought it up a little bit. Every other running back we're going to talk about has a good quarterback next to him for multiple years. I mean, we're going to talk about Keyshawn Vaughn later, who has Tom Brady, but he should have at least 2 years with Tom Brady. Phillip Rivers is on that 1-year deal, and it's probably only going to be 1 year in Indy. And if it wasn't for that, I would have him as my 101. it's just that offense moving forward. Who knows who that quarterback's going to be? And he doesn't even have really good skill position guys around him. They have Jack Doyle, Michael Pittman is going to be their best wide receiver next year after T.Y. Hilton is gone. And that's just my biggest worry with him. I think he's easily, like, talent-wise, probably the most skilled back in the class. It's just, I worry about him in the future toward the other guys. I don't worry about Edwards-Helaire at all in 2022. He's going to be in just as good an offense then as he is now. And so that's my biggest worry about JT, and that's why I don't have him as the 101.
Yeah, the quarterback situation is a concern. There's a lot of free agent quarterbacks and some signings next year. You can possibly see Newton or Winston. New eyesight Winston. He could be landing in Indianapolis possibly. We'll see.
He just signed a 1 year, right?
Mm-hmm.
With the
Saints to
Saints,
learn
1
behind
year.
Sean Payton and Drew Brees. I respect that. And he can see license plates and street signs now.
It's
This is a very good
amazing.
upgrade. It's amazing what LASIK surgery can do. But I'm curious to the quarterback situation too. And if it wasn't for that, he'd be my 101. But so I got a theoretical question for both of you. Say you have the 101 and the 103 in a rookie superflex draft. You taking Burrow at the 101 and then waiting for the 103 to call him between Edwards, Helaire, or Taylor, or are you gonna get the Edwards, Helaire, and then possibly miss out on Burrow, and you can have both these running backs? What's the strategy you take there, Dad? For quarterbacks are valued higher in superflex, obviously.
No, I would take the quarterback first right there, 101.
You taking Burrow? What about you, Mitch?
See, I'm a little bit opposite because we've talked about it before, just about how I build my teams. I already have the quarterbacks from the startup draft. So the reason why I do that is so when these rookie drafts happen, I don't have to spend that 101 pick on Burrow and have to wait for him for 2 or 3 years to become that top 10 dynasty quarterback. I'll go out and I will get CH first, and then I'll let Burrow go at number 2, and then I will take either Jonathan Taylor or DeAndre Swift, but it's going to be Taylor at this point.
Yeah, I mean, that'd be a nice little start. Edwards, Helaire, Taylor. I mean, I have a rookie draft. Well, most of Scott Fish's safe weeks are coming up on Monday for rookie drafts. Mitch and I, we have, I think, 2 of them this year. Then next year we'll have like 4 or 5. I don't even know how many leagues we're in together now, but we got one where he has the 101, I had the 102, and I'm not going to get Edwards Helaire from him anymore. So,
Yep.
Bart, if you're listening, you just got to kind of cry a little bit. But, hey, I'm not going to be complaining with whoever Bart wants to take, whether it be Burrow, Tua, Swift, or Jonathan Taylor. But DeAndre Swift, I believe, was Mitch's pre-draft running back 1.
He was.
He lands
Yep.
on a team that's kind of crap. No offense, Mitch, Lions
That's
fan.
all right.
But
Yeah,
he
I
lands
agree.
on the Lions in the second round. So kick it off with you, Mitch. What's your take on this landing spot and them taking him in the second round when they already have Kerryon Johnson? So how are you going to decipher this backfield, and what are you doing with DeAndre Swift, and where does he rank around your running backs? Lots of questions, but
Yeah, so he's my 3rd running back still. He definitely has the talent, and Detroit showed in the past that they're not willing to give Kerryon Johnson the bell cow work. He only had over 50% of snaps 5 times in his whole career so far. Granted, he's never healthy, so it's a decent percentage of this game's played. But they've showed that they don't want to give him the passing game work as well. DeAndre Swift is very good in the passing game. That's something they're not going to have to worry about. And on the way that they went through their draft, they upgraded the offensive line. They got the running back. They got another wide receiver. They got another pass-catching running back in the 5th or 6th round. And so I think they're kind of going away from the let's build up our defense, and they're just going to try to outscore people, because I think that's the way that the NFL is moving now. And so I think both Kerryon Johnson and DeAndre Swift are going to be able to share the backfield. And the problem is that neither of them are going to be able to be running back 1s, maybe back end running back 2s. But you get Swift for 4 years at that point. And so I'm willing to take him at that 3rd spot before someone like Akers that we're going to talk about later.
yeah, Dad, DeAndre Swift, what do you got to say about him?
Well, he's my 4th running back off the board.
See, why are we agreeing now?
Just because of his landing spot. He's a rock solid 3-down back, but he goes to Detroit, not a good landing spot. The Lions have a mediocre offensive line, and Patricia already said he prefers to use multiple backs.
Yep.
So just like Mitch said, they're going to be a committee for a little while. Swift, he still remains an exciting back capable of contributing on the ground and through the air. but I just don't like the landing spot. That's why he's my number 4.
Yeah, I think it's a little bit underrated landing spot. I mean, I know Patricia talks about splitting, using both backs, and I think you can definitely see Carry-On still be used first year. But once they see what Swift can do with the ball in his hands, I think it's going to be pushing more towards a 70-30 kind of split. And they'd already obviously taken him in the second round, admit that they don't really trust Carry-On
I was
Johnson.
so excited for Carry-On too.
Yeah, we
Me
like
too.
Carry-On.
This year coming. I mean, if he could just stay healthy, the kid has just got immense talent, and then they draft Swift.
Hey, you listen to this podcast. I was telling you to sell Carry-On
Yeah,
Johnson
but-
before a draft. I didn't trust it. They don't trust him, obviously, which kind of is unfortunate. Doesn't matter what we think about players. It
Yeah.
matters what the NFL teams think.
right.
And they showed us their hand right here by saying we're taking DeAndre Swift, and Carry-On's contract's up in 2 years, I think it is. And after that, you're going to see DeAndre Swift get the lion's share of the carries. You see what I did there? No. But the next running back I want to talk about is my running back 3 in J.K. Dobbins. And I'm putting the glasses on for this one.
Oh boy,
You got to put
There
the
we
glasses
go.
on for the J.K. Dobbins, because J.K. Dobbins, that spot. You know, people were like always saying Baltimore was a nice little spot for a running back, like any running back. And then you get J.K. Dobbins, who I think just matches that perfect system. It's a match made in heaven. He's a running back 3 in the class. I wouldn't even be scared to take him running back 2 if you really wanted to do it, but you don't have to do that. So my running back 3, 2.11 yards per team play per J.J. Decker-Reason. That's second in the class, only behind Jonathan Taylor. The question with him is immediate production, but I think he can beat out Justice Hill in passing downs and whatnot. And then they used Gus Edwards last year, used 3 backs last year. I mean, I can easily see J.K. Dobbins beating out Gus Edwards or Justice Hill. Mark Ingram's still there, but he's gone after this year. He's 31 years old. And if he can have over 1,000 yards in his offense, wait for 2021 when I can honestly see J.K. Dobbins being the number 1 overall fantasy running back in 2021. That wouldn't surprise me.
Wow.
That's my hot take.
Wow.
I wouldn't even be surprised to see J.K. Dobbins finish as the running back 1 in 2021 once Mark Ingram's gone. You're going to have a hard time stopping that run-pass option with Lamar Jackson and J.K. Dobbins with his quick one-cuts. I mean, it's literally the perfect fit, I think, for any running back to land in Baltimore. I think it's better than Swift would have landed in Baltimore because J.K. Dobbins is faster, more agile, those one-cuts. And you saw what he did against Clemson, even when he hurt his ankle, still tearing up the defense. So no combine results, which kind of sucks. But, hey, I'm wheels up on J.K. Dobbins. Why are you shaking your head? You don't like he's number 5? Is he number 5 for you?
No, he's number 6.
Ooh.
Just because of his landing spot.
That's
I
a
don't-
perfect landing
listen,
spot.
No, it's not.
We're talking dynasty here, not redraft.
I understand. It's still a head scratcher for me,
How?
considering they still have Mark Ingram.
He's 31.
They drafted Justice Hill
He's 4th round pick.
last year. Then they tendered Gus Edwards this offseason.
Gus Edwards.
He fits into their offense pretty well. It's not I don't think it's a pick that's going to boost them to Super Bowl or anything. He's a physical downhill runner. Like you said, is Ingram going to be there for a year or more? I don't know. For
He's
me,
31. He's catching up to you.
No, he's got a long way to go to catch up to me. I don't like the spot. I don't like the spot where he landed.
All right, Mitch. You got to tell me that this is a good spot.
I mean, they spent all that money on Hill.
Doesn't matter. Took him in the second
I
round.
understand, but
So I like J.K. Dobbins for the spot, right? But I think his ceiling is Derrick Henry sort of thing. Because the problem that we're going to always run into is Lamar Jackson doesn't throw to his running backs. And you can't be the running back 1 overall if you're not getting those PPR points. You just don't have a chance of doing it. And so that's my biggest reason of not putting him over the other guys is Lamar Jackson just doesn't throw to his running backs. And so although I love Dobbins in that spot, I think 2021 moving forward, he's going to be easily a top 10 running back. I just don't think his ceiling is that running back 1 because he's not going to get the PPR points to be able to put him up in that spot.
What if he catches 30 passes, say in 2021? Say they get some swing passes. Is that still not enough for you?
No, because he's going to be competing with Barkley and Christian McCaffrey who get 80 or 90, and that's 50 more points just off the bat that they get.
That's true. Lamar
That's a good
Jackson,
point.
if you're
That's a good point.
listening, J.K. Dobbins, just give him.
Throw
a
to
couple
him.
passes. Just throw it to him. I mean, I think the upside is incredible though, and without the pass catching, it could limit his upside. But he's my running back 3. Is he your running back 3 or 4, Mitch?
He's 4.
He's 4.
Yep.
And then the guy who I think my dad may have as 3 is Cam Akers. I mean, woo, people think it's a good situation. You're shaking your head. I have him as running back 5 in this class.
I like Cam Akers.
Cam Akers is very good.
That's a good spot for him
It's
where he landed.
it's not that great of a spot.
That's better than Dobbins where he landed in Baltimore.
All right, what do you want? Do you want to put a wager on this?
Let's
you want
put a wager. What's the wager?
All right, by the end of 2021.
Well, now you got it. Why? We're going into 2020.
Yeah, but we're doing dynasty in a 2-year window. You give me 2 years. So this year and next year, Akers probably gonna have some more immediate production. You give me. I think J.K. Dobbins outscores Cam Akers by a leap and a bound.
You're out of your mind.
No, I'm just gonna say more fantasy
In
points
the next 2 seasons,
in the next 2 seasons combined.
you're on.
All right, so we got that marked
Put
down.
it on the table. Bet is on. No way.
Yes, the way, do it.
Look, this guy joins Henderson, Malcolm Brown, but he's going to emerge as the clear leader. They drafted him 18 spots higher than they drafted Henderson last year. So obviously they like him. They believe in him. He's going to be their guy. He ran behind a crappy Florida State line, but he still did well in yards after contact and missed tackles forced. He still did fantastic with a crappy line. He also can catch the ball out of the backfield. He caught 69 balls over 3 seasons. I mean, he's going to blow Dobbins out of the water in the next 2 years.
We got no viewers right now, but wow.
Hey, you got to be bold to make some. Either way, you're on the fence. You got to go with it. And some of them are going to hit. Some of them aren't going to hit. This one's going to hit.
Ooh, I mean, I like Cam Akers' profile. I think the offensive situation was trash at Florida State.
It was
now
bad.
he lands in an offensive situation that just keeps deteriorating. Their offensive line hasn't been the same since they lost Roger Saffold, and people can bring up the stat, oh, their offense is still top 12 over the last 3 years. Well, yeah, the 2 years before Saffold was gone, they had Saffold. That's their offensive line is trash. I understand he ran behind a bad offensive line in college, but this is NFL athletes, and this is the 49ers defense you got to face twice a year. Seattle's a decent run-stopping team still, and you got the Cardinals who just got Isaiah Simmons, who's gonna. I mean, I don't know, man. And Henderson's still there. I mean, splitting time, but I think that he does have one of the clear routes to a workworkload. But I think that Rams offense is gonna cap his ceiling for years to come, and it's gonna make him
save this video and replay it in 2 years.
We can replay it in
Clip
2 years.
it.
I'll have to clip it. But Mitch, Cam Akers. Apparently, he's going to have more points than Dobbins, according to this guy.
I love how the thing with Cam Akers, everyone says, well, he ran behind the horrible offensive line at Florida State, and he's going to have a horrible offensive line with the Rams, so he's used to it, so it'll be okay. But my biggest issue with Akers is I just like the other guys a little bit more. Jared Goff, I mean, it's home Goff and road Goff. I mean, on the road, Goff's horrible. At home, he's really good. And that's how that offense is going to continue to flow until we see something from Goff. And that's something that worries me with Akers moving forward is on the road, is he going to be unplayable because that offense is going to be so bad? And that's what I worry about. And I don't know. They still have Malcolm Brown. He's going to get work. Darrell Henderson might be just J.J. Arcega-Whiteside, but a running back and never amount to anything. And so my biggest issue with Akers is I don't trust that offense at all. They had that couple great years. Everyone kind of figured it out. And Goff is kind of meh at this point. I mean, he has the contract, so he's going to be there. He's not going anywhere. And so him with that quarterback, I worry about it.
You know, Matt Williams isn't here, but you like to say last year during our stats set, you always said free money. And I think, I don't know what the wager is on this. We'll think of something by the next podcast.
We'll think of something.
Maybe some beer or something like that. But I just got some free beer, free money. I don't know. I'm taking it.
Hope
But
Dobbins does good in 20.
you see, if we had D-Bro in here, he'd be on your side. Loves Cam Akers, and that was his whole tout. And now, even though the situation's bad,
Just think,
he
I
can't-
got 2 years to use him. You're only going to have really 1 to use Dobbins.
1.5.
No.
I think that he's the most talented. The talent wins
No.
out. You think only 1, Mitch?
Unless Ingram gets injured, Dobbins isn't going to get that much work. This
Give me 100
I'm already
carries. I'll be
ahead of
happy.
you. I'm already ahead of you.
Yeah, in that offense, I don't know. Give me 10 carries in Baltimore's offense compared to 25 in the Rams' offense. Honestly, I'm Lamar Jackson freezing defenders. I'm okay with it. I love
I'll
it.
take any back with 25 carries. I might have to change it up a little bit. If Akers is getting 25, I'm going to have to bump him up quite a bit.
Might have to. And now, people hopefully listen to the podcast. If you listen to the podcast, my running back 6 through this whole process was Keyshawn Vaughn. A lot of people had him lower, near the 10 range. I never understood it. And now he gets the landing spot. So by default, I get to say, ha, I'm right. But he's my running back 6 right now, and I love him. So people are worried about Ronald Jones being there. Ronald Jones is trash. I mean, I hate to say
Tampa Bay hasn't had a running game in a long time.
Has Tampa Bay had Tom Brady?
That's what I'm. Well, Tom Brady's coming in.
Tom Brady's going to play there for the next 25 years.
25.
And he's going to have Vaughn.
This is going to be a whole different team with Brady under center.
It is. It's going to be a really efficient offense, an offense that makes a lot of trips to the goal line. And Keyshawn Vaughn is better than Rojo in every single situation. So Keyshawn Vaughn, over the last 5 years, ranked 16th of 57 in yards created at 2019 in Vanderbilt. Ronald Jones was 54th, ahead of 57th at USC in 2017. Dad, I don't know, you're not awesome at math, but is 16th out of 57 better ranking than 54 out of 57?
Yes.
Okay, so we got that check mark. So Vaughn, I believe, can do everything that Jones does, but better. Better speed score. He weighs the appropriate amount, 215. He can carry a full workload. You saw him do it at Vanderbilt. And this new regime here in Tampa Bay didn't select Ronald Jones. They selected Keyshawn Vaughn in the 3rd round. I think it's another good landing spot because you have a high-powered offense. It's probably going to be top 10 in efficiency. I mean, probably it will be top 10 in efficiency with Tom Brady there. You saw what Tom Brady likes to do with his running backs. He likes to throw down to them. I think Dare Awagapuga-Wule. I hit
Good
that
job. That was
pronunciation on
close.
point. You know, he's going to be getting some passes too. He's a nice little sneaky play, but Keyshawn Vaughn can also catch the ball a lot better than Ronald Jones. Ronald Jones can't pass protect. He's kind of like you out there against an NFL player. You're going to get smoked every single time. Put Keyshawn Vaughn in there. He can actually hold his own against some linebackers coming in. So I just think that the situation is there. He's going to have immediate production, and he's a great pick. I'd take him over a lot of wide receivers in his class. I mean, I love Jalen Reagor a lot, but it's going to be tough for me to take Reagor over Keyshawn Vaughn because running backs are more likely to just accrue value over the first year compared to a wide receiver that's just going to lose it. So you better like Keyshawn Vaughn.
I do.
But he's your running back 5?
Yeah.
Oh, you have him ahead of J.K. Dobbins?
Absolutely.
All right, so you're just going to be a J.K. Dobbins hater.
I'm not a hater. I just
It's
it's about the landing spot for me.
It's a good landing spot.
Okay. And why do you always use me in your analysts? Because I'm 53 years old. You don't think I can run and block?
Yes.
Really? Okay. I'll go with that.
All right, Keyshawn Vaughn.
His stock is currently on the rise because of his landing spot. I mean, they set Brady up for success once again here. I mean, he excels in both pass protection and pass catching, which Jones has not. Jones has struggled in that. I believe Vaughn is going to take the lead sometime next year in the backfield. And when he does, he's going to be a steal in rookie drafts. It's going to be a huge upside for whichever running back in this backfield takes charge, led by Brady. So our guess is it's going to be Vaughn, and it's going to be a huge fantasy upside for him.
Yeah, I think you can see running back 2 season this year from him. Wouldn't even surprise me. He's already in my top 20 dynasty running back rankings. Mitch, I mean, just based on some league chats, people don't know you're a big Damian Williams guy. Prior to this Clyde Edwards-Helaire signing, and he was your guy. I believe last year your bold take was running back 1 overall, and Scott Fish, you were going to take him there. Didn't really work out so well, but I was also on Damian Williams' train. I was just good process, and you reached yourself by signing LaShawn McCoy. But rumor has it you're really liking his Keyshawn Vaughn character.
I am. And it's really because of his price. It's not because I'm drafting him over these guys. He's my running back 5. And right now, I've done
Who's he ahead? Who's he ahead of?
Akers.
Oh.
Yeah, he's ahead of Akers for me. And it's really because of Tom Brady. That's the reason why. It's, do you want Jared Goff's offense or do you want Tom Brady's offense? And I'll just pick Tom Brady every single time. But so I've done maybe 10 or 15 or maybe more rookie drafts at this point. But Keyshawn Vaughn, you could get him at the end of the first round. He goes after the wide receivers, CeeDee Lamb. He goes after Herbert. He goes after all of those guys. But for his price right now, he has the same ceiling as any other back this year because he doesn't have anyone in front of him. And we've talked about all the guys already. Swift has Kerryon. Taylor has Mack. Edwards-Helaire has Damian Williams. Keyshawn Vaughn has Ronald Jones. I mean, it's kind of Ronald Jones because we don't even think that's going to be the case to begin with. And so he's going to have that immediate production. Arians has already came out and said he wants a back that could be on the field for all 3 downs. And they went out and they got Keyshawn Vaughn. That tells me that they want Keyshawn Vaughn to be on the field for all 3 downs if he can prove to be it. And so right now, I'm willing to get Keyshawn Vaughn in every league because his price is below Akers right now in leagues. And so if I'm able to get him for cheaper than Akers, and I think he's going to have just as good of a first year, and you can trade him after that if you want to because he is 23. He is an older back coming in. But it's funny because Justin talked about him a lot pre-draft. Yeah, I'm in Utah. I had no idea who he was. I mean, we don't get Vanderbilt games here in Utah. And so he gets drafted by, Tampa Bay. I'm like, oh, maybe I should actually figure out a little bit more about this guy. But yeah, I'm all about it now. I'll get him in every league if I can.
He's got a good skill set to complement the offense, and like you said, like he's Tom Brady, baby. That's all really matters. So I can see some nice little upside and high floor plays. Mitch and I did a trade in a Superflex tight end premium league. I had Keyshawn Vaughn. I gave up Keyshawn Vaughn to him. I didn't wanna, but we wanted Denzel Mims. We loved, me and my co-owner Thomas, we loved Denzel Mims. And of course, when you have Mitch in the draft, likes to snipe all the rookie wide receivers on you. I wanted Justin Jefferson, I wanted Denzel Mims, and of course Mitch has both of them. So we gave up, I think it was Keyshawn Vaughn and Emmanuel Sanders, who I think should still have low-end wide receiver 2, high-end wide receiver production at Saints offense is number 2 for Denzel Mims and Irv Smith, because it's tight end premium. And you know how much I love Irv Smith. Irv Smith did get hurt by the draft, but I still think over time he's going to be the number 2 once Theo gets out of the league, or once he goes down. But I think it's a really fair trade. You can't really go wrong with it. Gets the running back. We get Mimsy. Yeah. Everyone else in the league, if you're listening, I don't like you. You're all annoying.
Yep, I completely agree.
Moving on to some situations.
Yeah. Skip that.
I'm leaving that in there too. They listen to the podcast. I don't even care. So we got some situations that kind of unfolded to be a little bit more interesting. So I never was on Devin Singletary train. I know last year Mitch liked Devin Singletary coming out, and I asked him why, and it made sense. I mean, he got touches. He did really well over the course of the season. He became one of my favorite buy candidates in redraft because he was super efficient on his touches and showed some promise. So what did the Bills do to reward this guy? They drafted his doppelganger, Zach Moss, in that draft, and it's literally the same player. So you're going to have Devin Singletary and Devin Singletary 2.0. I mean, I don't think he's really better than Devin Singletary, but Zach Moss I was never a fan of. I didn't really have him ranked inside my top 12 before the draft. I still don't. I don't care. I'm not going to touch him in any of my rookie drafts. So if he's there in the late 4th round, I'd probably maybe I'll have to take him there. But I'm not a fan of Zach Moss. Sort of the same person as Devin Singletary, and I think they're just going to both cannibalize each other's values. So Devin Singletary, the hope was rookie goal line touches. Well, Zach Moss is bigger, so Zach Moss probably going to get those goal line touches. So I think they're just going to cannibalize and eat into each other's value. You're never really going to have a high ceiling for either of those guys. Mitch, what about this situation? I know you like Zach Moss before the combine when he ran like a 4.9.
Yeah, he was a little slow. But he's a Utah guy, so I was always a little bit higher on him than consensus. But actually, I didn't move Singletary down at all in my rankings because I think them bringing someone in was always going to happen. They only had TJ Yeldon after him, so they were always going to draft a running back. And they didn't spend really high draft capital. They just got Zach Moss. And they showed previously that coaching staff that they don't want to give rookie running backs a lot of work. How long did it take Singletary to even see the field? And then they didn't give him any red zone touches at all. He had like 2 carries inside the 5-yard line, and Frank Gore had 20-something. And Frank Gore was horrible with them, but they just don't want to give that to a rookie. So I think Zach Moss is going to be in that case at this point. He'll be on the field when Singletary gets, when he needs to take a break or whatever. But other than that, I don't see Zach Moss getting playing time over Singletary.
Yeah. Dad, what about the situation for you?
Yeah, I just see him do most of his work on the goal line. Like Mitch just said, Singletary just had 2 carries inside the 5 all last year. Allen had, I think, 5. I think Gore had 11. It might hurt Singletary's value a little bit if Zach Moss gets all that goal line work.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It'd be tough to sell. I'm not touching either of them in redraft.
Singletary's still going to do the same thing he's been doing.
Yeah.
They're still going to feed him the ball, but it's just going to, when you don't get them touchdowns and a guy like Moss comes in and gets the touchdowns, it's going to be different.
Yeah, interesting to see. I'm just gonna probably avoid it unless the value of the player falls to me. I'm not gonna be taking any of these guys.
It's
So we're
hard
trying to get them.
because Allen, you got Allen running the ball too.
Exactly.
So I mean,
Yep.
Taking away his touch.
you're taking a shot.
And Stephon Diggs is gonna have 20+ touchdowns this year.
Now you're really on something. Now you really
He might
gotta
have
get
2,
tested.
maybe 2.
He might have
But
2 because
He's
Rocket
another
Arm.
guy who went to a bad spot.
Hey, Rocket Arm himself is gonna throw the ball out of the
stop.
stadium.
Yes, literally out of the stadium. You're right. But someone will always take Zach Moss over you. So in my drafts, he's going in the second round consistently. And there's just no way I'm going to take him when with all the, I mean, people are taking over Brian Edwards. And there's just no way I'm going to do that.
Well, couldn't be me. We love Brian Edwards. Going to talk about Brian Edwards
Edwards.
Friday with Jesse Reeves. We're going over some of the we're going over our top 11 rookie wide receivers, seeing how they came out in his prospect model, and he upgraded all that since our last episode, and I think it was early March we had him on. So excited to do that. And then tomorrow, we're live all the time now. We're having Dan, some dude, FF Coach Dan. You may know him, Mitch, I think. I don't really know, but he's
Never
coming
heard
on
of
the
him.
show.
No, I don't
Never
know
heard
who he
of
is.
him.
Nope.
Dan's on my side alive. We're gonna have fun tomorrow
Mm-hmm.
night.
We're doing an intervention show, so
You're
we're
all
gonna.
done. You're all done, Justin.
I'm ready for
Done.
it.
Tomorrow's not gonna be an episode for you. You might as well just sit on the couch over there. You're gonna be done.
Hey, Miami's backfield got interesting. People thought they were going to take DeAndre Swift. People thought, oh, maybe J.K. Dobbins, Jonathan Taylor. They didn't take anyone. Instead, in the 5th round, they traded a pick for Matt Breida. So Matt Breida joins Jordan Howard. You're just shaking your head. What do you guys say about this backfield?
Yeah, just Howard's the answer there. Breida, what is he signed a 2-year deal. Everyone predicted the Dolphins would add a running back early. Instead, they traded for Breida, who isn't even a perfect model of health. The guy's always hurt. Dolphins want to build a team around the run, and Howard should see at least 250 carries behind a rebuilt offensive line. Howard is your answer in Miami.
Is Howard the answer, Mitch?
Completely agree. I love Jordan Howard. Absolutely love him. He's only 25. Granted, Breida's only 25 too, but if he gets touched, something breaks. He is always injured. Jordan Howard, if you're doing best balls right now, he is an absolute smash at his ADP because he's going to get bare minimum 50% of the touches. We should probably expect closer to 60, 65%. He's not known as a pass catcher, but he can pass catch. And so I think he's an absolute smash right now at his ADP.
I love him in redraft.
I think both are good values in redraft. I'm going to take the Breida side here. I think Howard may get more touches, but Breida's going to be way more efficient on these touches. He's like the lightning to Jordan Howard's thunder. I think both are still great values. But I think that, they mentioned the upgraded offensive line. Breida's had an extended time to get healthy now. I'm hoping he can stay healthy because when this guy plays, he's very, very talented. He's one of the most talented running backs in the league when he's healthy. The problem is it's like when he's healthy.
Well, he had a lot of big games. He had a lot of big games in San Fran.
132 carries last year, 20 forced 20 missed tackles. This guy, when he's on the field, he's very, very efficient. So
Coleman with that 1-2 punch.
And Mostert. Don't forget Mostert. Mostert got an upgrade. I think Breida gets an upgrade too, and then Howard also gets a little slight upgrade because of the offensive line. And Breida's probably going behind Jordan Howard in drafts as well. So
which he should.
Yeah. So either of these guys just still great values at the ADP because this offensive line, they built the offensive line in the draft, and I think that Breida has upside.
Where's
so does Jordan Howard.
In, Dynasty Howard.
Howard's probably a 15th round, 16th round.
Oh, yeah, way late. It's definitely in the middle teens.
Yeah, he's very free, and he's probably still a good buy low right now, I think, if you need a running back. So I may try to get him or Breida in any of my leagues where I can if I need running back help. You don't like that? You know, like that idea? So Cam Akers is not going to outscore J.K. Dobbins the next 2 years. I think that this year is going to be a big reliance on him. I don't know how we're going to keep track of this bet, but we'll figure it out. Once J.K. Dobbins starts scoring a lot of points.
So far ahead of him after 2020, you're going to be done. You might as well sit out the 21 season. He's already going to be way ahead at 25. Would you say 25 catches or touches a game? Gone.
No, hey, Dobbins, if 2021 when they get rid of Ingram, if he can get 20+ touches a game, it's going to be over for you.
I got no problem with you there. I got no problem with that.
This year, I hope he sees the field before week 4. I think, they took him in the second round. I don't see how he wouldn't. But that's going to do it for us today. If you guys are new and enjoy it this far, please subscribe. We have 2 more episodes coming out this week, and we have some more. We have Mike Clay coming on the show soon. That's exciting. Shout out to John for getting that to plug in there. Mitch, where can people find you on Twitter? What are you doing in the Dynasty community, in case they didn't already know?
Yeah, just at Dino MC, and I'm on the Dynasty Theory podcast, and that's at Dynasty Theory FF on Twitter, and that's pretty much all that I do. I just pretty much podcast. I don't write. I don't do any of that other nonsense. I just talk.
That's good.
That's where you're at too.
Me and you're on the same page, Mitch.
Yep.
Yeah. Thanks for joining us, and yeah, we'll see you guys next week. If I get this sound to play. There we go. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to end this broadcast on YouTube, and I'm going to put it on Twitter because people like it on. We get way more viewers on Twitter. I think.
Which I don't understand why we're not getting a